we call out to the Lord to give us that enlightenment, that understanding, right? Because why do we need that understanding? Because that understand all the Atma, the Atma knows everything, but because we are in this material world, it is covered, right? Like fire. If you look at wood, right? If you look at wood, can you think that the wood will burn? You cannot understand that the wood will burn. It has the potency to burn, but you will not know it will burn. In the same way, the Atma knows everything, but because it is covered by this material covering and ignorance, it doesn't know. And we are asking the Lord to remove that ignorance or enlighten me from within, right? That is what we are asking. And then we are calling out to Naranarayana, who are the first of the supermost human beings. And then we call out to Saraswati Devi, who is the goddess of learning. And then who else we call out? We call out to actually Vyasadeva, who is the author of this book. Right? Vyasadeva is none other than the incarnation of the Lord itself, the literary incarnation of the Lord, who actually came to this world to give us all these scriptures. And then the living entities have forgotten. Why do we need all these things, right? The living entity has forgotten the relationship with the Lord. Bhagavatam actually establishes that relationship with the Lord. Even if you read one page, half a page, one word also, it changes the heart from within. Just like Bhagavad Gita, this Bhagavatam is even more deep. It starts from where Bhagavad Gita left off. Bhagavad Gita left off with the surrender to the Lord. Right? Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. That's what Krishna said at the last. He said, just forget all the other designations, forget all the other, yoga system and that system and, ashrama and everything. Forget everything and just surrender unto me, Krishna said. And Bhagavatam picks from where Bhagavad Gita left off. When I say that, what do I mean? What I mean is that it did not show how to live a life of surrender. And that is what Bhagavatam is showing us. It will have many, many beautiful instances and leelas between the Lord and the devotees, where the devotee shows how we have to surrender to the Lord. So that is why it establishes that relationship. When you listen to these incidents and the leelas and even understand at a very high level, even if you understand, it changes your heart and you want to do the same thing that the devotee does, and you will understand the subtleness of the heart and how the heart is longing for Krishna. Okay, no matter how many plans we make in this world, without the Lord, right, without the Lord's mercy and re-establishing that connection, we cannot have peace. We think we can conquer this world. We think we'll be very happy in this world, but we cannot be happy in this world. Why? Because this is Dukkhalaya. Dukkhalaya Ashashvata, this land is. You can never be, if you go to a library, you get only books. In the same way, we are coming into this world, Granthalaya, right? Alaya means it is a place. Granthalaya means a place where there are books. And we've come into Dukkha Alaya. Where there is dukkha only we've come. When you go to Granthalaya, can you get pizza and burger there? No, you cannot get. What will you get? You'll only get books. In the same way, we have not come to Sukhalaya, we've come to Dukkhalaya. And when we come to Dukkhalaya, we cannot expect to be happy. The only happiness is when we establish the relationship with Krishna. Prabhu. I don't know who it is, Prabhu. I'm trying to mute.
Sujit Kumar.
Okay, I muted. So no matter what all plans we do in this world, none of that will be successful, right? One, because we have our karma pala. Because of that karma pala, we have to go through the miseries of this world. And the second thing is, Krishna doesn't want us to get distracted in this world, because there is no happiness. Even the happiness that you get is momentary. It is like the bubbles on the water. So that's why Krishna doesn't want us to be distracted by these, enticement of this world. And that's why he gives us the moment, he gives us these problems sometimes, just so we understand that, this place is not a great place to live. It is like a pig. If you go and ask a pig, how is this place? It'll be eating fresh stool. Pardon me for that language, but it'll be eating fresh stool and it'll say, oh, I'm very happy with all my family here. But when you look at it, do you think you'll be saying that, okay, the pig is happy? No, but the pig himself will be very happy. In the same way, we think we have the family, we have the position, we have a home, we have children, we are very happy. But that is an illusion that we are living in, that we will be happy. And that is what this Bhagavatam is going to make us realize. Eventually, it will make us realize that we are all in illusion and we have to break free of that illusion. Okay, now what is Bhagavatam? There is many commentaries written about it, and it is a most significant scriptures in Vaishnava culture. And why is it? We will see in a minute. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is none other than Krishna himself, Grantha Avatar or book incarnation of Lord Krishna. I think in the further slides I might have covered it, but I will say it now. So what happened is, when Krishna left this world, Dharma had to take shelter somewhere. Dharma had taken shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. When I say taken shelter, Krishna protected Dharma, right? Dharma was established by Krishna when he was there in this planet Earth or in this Bhuloka. When he wrapped up his pastime and he left to Goloka, Dharma had to take shelter somewhere. It had to reside somewhere. Somebody had to protect it. And it actually took residence in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And it was also said Krishna is like thousands, like we learned in Bhagavad Gita, right? Universal form of the Lord, that Purushottama, right? That he is like thousands of suns. When he showed his universal form, it was like thousands of sun, right? The effulgence was that. In the same way, when Krishna was existing in this loka, it was effulgent, it was peace and happiness, and he was like that sun. But when he left, Kali Yuga started and there was darkness. We had to ward off that darkness somehow, and that is the time the sun of Bhagavatam rose in the sky, it says. This is exactly what Vyasadeva has written the first chapter, where he says, the Lord as a sun set, but the Bhagavatam as a sun rose at the same time to ward away the darkness of this world. And that's why it actually took the place of the Lord in the Lord's absence. And that's why it's called Grantha Avatar. Another avatar of Krishna is the Grantha Avatar. And that is the incarnation of, in the Kali Yuga, he took avatar as Grantha. And then it is said the white pages are like Srimati Radharani, who is none other than Bhakti. Right, the complexion of the Srimati Radharani is, effulgent, white, or golden hue in color. And Bhagavatam is also white, on which the black ink is there. So that whiteness is nothing but bhakti. So it is supported by bhakti. Entire Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is supported by bhakti. And black, our Shyama Sundar is black in color. So it is a black ink is Krishna, and he is supporting that bhakti. Bhakti is supporting Krishna also, right? That is what we have to understand. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calls it Amala Purana. Why does he call it as Amala Purana? Mala means dirt. Amala means no dirt. That means the spotless. Why is it spotless? Because it does not give you any other directions. It gives you the purity. What is the most pure thing in this world? It is bhakti actually. It is Krishna Nama, which is more pure, which Chintamani it is. But what is that which is very pure? It is bhakti. And where is bhakti? Bhakti is actually in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. There are many other Puranas. If you see the other Puranas, there is a mixture of yoga system or karma yoga or dhyana yoga, or a little bit of stories and Purana, how they existed in this material world or in Treta Yoga, whichever yugas, right? It does not give you pure bhakti. But every word of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam loudly proclaims only one thing, that is bhakti. And that's why it's called Amala Purana, because it does not talk about any of the mundane knowledge. It does not, see, if you look at Mahabharata or any other Puranas, right, it talks about a story there. There is politics, there is drama, there is character, everything. But in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, every word, every sentence, every devotee's life, every incident talks only about one thing, that is bhakti. And that's why it is called as Amala Purana. So, how did this Bhagavatam come into existence? Why is it Amala Purana? Because Vyasadeva had completed writing many of the Vedas. He didn't write, he divided the Vedas. He divided the Vedas into different Vedic books, and he wrote the Puranas and many other scriptures. And still his heart was not happy. He had some kind of an agitation in his heart. His heart was not at peace. When he was contemplating in that way, his spiritual master Narad Muni comes into the scene. And when Narad Muni came into the scene, he asks Vyasadeva, what is the cause of his lamentation? What is the cause of his heartburn? Why is he not at peace? And Vyasadeva humbly responds that Narad Muni, being his spiritual master, knows his heart. He knows the devotee's heart or his disciple's heart. But still, he's going to narrate what is going on. And he says his heart is not at peace. He's not satisfied that he's done a good job. See, whenever you perform some activity, if you've performed it with, when you perform it with an intention to finish it, it is not great. When you just forget the entire world and just concentrate, focus on that work, and when you do it with all your heart, you feel very satisfied. And here Vyasadeva is saying it's not that he did not focus while writing the other things. Somehow his heart was not satisfied. Somehow he felt that he did not give the world what is really required. Right? He gave the Vedas. See, the Vedas, what do they talk? You do this puja, you have to narrate this mantra, this yagna, then you will get this active, fruitive results. If you've done some karma, to ward away that karma, you do this. And to get moksha, you do this. All that he talks. But it does not talk about true happiness. Sustaining happiness, it does not talk about that. So he's not happy, and that's why he's feeling frustrated. And at that time Narad Muni responds to him and he says, you have given the four purusharthas which everybody is behind. What is the four purusharthas? That is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. See, the living entity, through many transmigration of the bodies and flowing through the kala, has come to the stage where it wants to enjoy. It still has the propensity to enjoy. And when you give this Vedas, Upanishad and Puranas and everything, even that is proclaiming how they can enjoy without suffering. What is that? You do lot of dharma karya. When you do lot of dharma karya and you protect dharma, you will get artha. Okay, you will get lot of money and wealth. And using that money, you will enjoy. And after enjoying for a certain time, you get bored of enjoying also. You will say, Arey, I've been doing this, I am not interested in doing this. Then you think of moksha. Okay, so he says you stopped at that. That is not the end. There is one more purushartha, which is the fifth purushartha. And what is that purushartha? It is bhakti. This dharma, artha, kama, moksha is all temporary. Even that is temporary. It is not fulfilling. Right? Moksha is also not fulfilling. If you just get rid of, rebirth, it is not so great. What will you do after that? The Atma is very active. It cannot sit quietly. Okay, I went into a retired life where I got mukti. Now what do I do? It cannot just stay like that. Only when it is engaged in the devotional service, loving devotional service to the Lord, when the Lord becomes happy, the Atma becomes happy. If you sit quietly like this, everything is provided to you, food is given at the right time, you have everything, no agitation, nothing. How long can you be like that? You can't be like that. You want to do something, and when you do, you'll feel satisfied. That satisfaction is required. The Atma needs that satisfaction, and that can be only given by Krishna when you perform bhakti. That's why Narad Muni says you've not given bhakti to the entire world, and that's why you're not happy at heart. You've given already, the Atma has transmigrated, and they are all wishing to still enjoy the world, and you gave fire ammunition to continue to enjoy the world. That will not give them the satisfaction. Very soon they'll realize that they cannot be happy. So you have to write the Leela of Krishna. What is there in the Leela of Krishna? It only talks about bhakti. Wherever Krishna is interacting with a devotee, the bhakti factor comes out. Krishna also cannot just sit like this by himself and give you bhakti. Krishna also can understand and enjoy bhakti when he has that reciprocation with a devotee. And that's why these Leelas of Krishna become very important, because Krishna is doing Leela with one of his devotees or lot of his devotees. There is a transaction, and that transaction is called bhakti. Right? So that is why he says you have to write the Krishna Leela. When you write the Krishna Leela, your heart will be happy. Suprasiddhyati, right? Your heart will become happy, and whoever narrates this or whoever reads this will also become happy. Listens to it will also become happy. That is how Bhagavatam came into existence. Now, what does that word Bhagavatam stand for? It actually has 4 syllables in it. Bhagavatam. Okay. Ba stands for bhakti, Ga stands for gnana, Va stands for vairagya, third stands for tattva. What are the different tattvas which are in that? Guru tattva, Vishnu tattva, Shiva tattva. There is a lot of tattva also. Tattva means philosophical understanding. And that's why again Bhagavatam becomes very important, because it is not dry philosophy. It is backed by these leelas, and that's why it becomes interesting. When we narrate a leela, it is not just a story. There is a backdrop of the tattva also that we need to understand. In the first go, when you are reading it, just go through it as a leela, it is okay. But a deeper dive of it will give you the tattva gnan, and that is what will progress you in bhakti. Progression of bhakti happens only when we understand the tattva. Leelas are good. It is like a story form. It is in the beginning, it is good. But once we progress a little bit, we have to start understanding the tattva also. Bhagavatam gives a lot of prominence to bhakti. And bhakti, gnana and vairagya, you don't have to aspire for it separately. When you're performing bhakti, as you're performing bhakti, it is already accompanied by gnana and vairagya. Anil Prabhu, what is the time? I think I have about 4 minutes. Okay. So I will narrate the story of this Narad Muni meeting Bhakti Devi, and then we can stop at that. So once what happens is Narad Muni is traveling. As he's traveling, he comes across, actually she's an old woman, but she looks young, but her children look old. And then she's crying. She is not able to support her children. She's crying. At that time, Narad Muni approaches her and he says, "Who are you? You look so young, and your children, they look so old." This is in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, he actually meets her. And then Bhakti Devi actually starts narrating her story. She says, "I was actually born in Dravida Desha, which is a South India. And then I actually started traveling, and I moved to the north of India, right? Where I was given ashray by these sages. And as I was given ashray, and I matured in the north, where I was able to sustain by these sages. They supported me. And then finally, I actually had 2 children. Those are Gnana and Vairagya. And we kept walking and walking, and we came into this Vrindavan. As soon as we came into this Vrindavan, my children became old and I became young. I don't know how to support them, or I don't know how to make them young. I'm shortening the story, but it is a long story. So she says, how do I support them? How do I make sure that they are young and they're able to do their work, because today they are so old and they cannot do anything on their own. And at that time, Narad Muni understands this is Bhakti Devi who is in Vrindavan, and the two sons are Gnana and Vairagya. There is no place for Gnana and Vairagya in Vrindavan. When whoever enters Vrindavan, Golok Dham, only Bhakti can enter. Gnana and Vairagya cannot enter there, and that's why they had become old. So Narad Muni says, no, that is not the place for Gnana and Vairagya. They have to come out of that place and they have to live outside. They cannot live in Vrindavan. And the remedy for it, he's thinking, what is the remedy to make them, young again? And that time, the four Kumaras talk to Narad Muni and they say they have to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. As soon as they hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, what happens is Bhakti along with Gnana and Vairagya will take residence in a devotee's heart, and they will be happy in that. It's a bigger story of Gokarna. In some other class, we can discuss that. It's a long story about how Gokarna was actually performing, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Yajna to release his brother who had become a ghost. Right? His brother who would have done all abominable activity, and he gets killed. When he gets killed, he actually becomes a pretatma. And he comes and tells his brother Gokarna that, I've become a pretatma, do something. When Gokarna actually goes and talks to some of the rishis, they say the only way he can get out of that preta body is that he has to hear Bhagavatam. And at that time, they bring a pole and they tie a knot on that pole where this Gokarna's brother, Dundubi is his name. Dundubi sits on that, right? And he sits on that, and he listens to Bhagavatam. He listens to Bhagavatam with so much rapt attention for 7 days and 7 nights that every day there is a 7 knots tied to that pole. Every day they finish 1 day of Bhagavatam, they will release one knot. And that way, the 7th day, there is a aeroplane from heaven which comes, a golden aeroplane which comes from heaven, and he gets released. The Atma gets released, the Pretatma gets released, and he goes back. At that time, Gokarna asks a question. See, there are so many people sitting in the audience, and me included. Only my brother got the chance to go. How come we didn't get chance to get liberated? And then the Rishi Munis say that because the intensity in which he was hearing the Bhagavatam, he had no other choice. See, becoming a Pretatma is also not a fun thing. It is very difficult, right? And he had no choice. It's worse than death, they say. So for him, that intensity was very high, and with rapt attention, he was listening to Bhagavatam, and that's why he was released. And when this story is being narrated, the second time they read the story again with rapt attention so that they all get liberated. When they are reading it or listening to this Bhagavatam the second time, Bhakti Devi, Gnana and Vairagya along with Narad Muni come there, because wherever there is narration of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhakti Devi, Gnana and Vairagya automatically appear there, right? And that's why Bhagavatam immediately gives one bhakti. It does not give bhakti alone. The byproducts are Gnana and Vairagya. That is the essence, how we can prove that Bhagavatam gives bhakti, Gnana and Vairagya along with. For a listener, for a person who's preaching, for a person who's reading, however you engage with Bhagavatam, right? It purifies the heart and it establishes bhakti. And Gnana, where the mother is, the children automatically come, isn't it? So where bhakti is there, gnana and vairagya, the byproducts, also get established in the heart. See, this gnana and vairagya is not that you are giving up everything. It's not that. You're not greedy for things. Whatever Krishna gives, you'll be happy and self-satisfied. And Krishna will protect whatever you have, and he will give more than your two hands can hold to. Krishna gives so much to all of us. So you will not be greedy. The minute you are not greedy, the heart will become very happy and pure, right? So this is that kind of vairagya. This is not the vairagya. There is a lot of misconception that, vairagya means, a person who starts reading Bhagavatam will give up his family. That's not the thing. It is the vairagya, the right kind of vairagya. We learned in chapter 18, the beginning of chapter 18, I think, right? Or some other chapter in Bhagavad Gita, how we have to perform renunciation. Renunciation here is not giving up on your duties. Renunciation here is not to use things for your own satisfaction, but to use it for Krishna's satisfaction. One great example is, you must have noticed, Anil Prabhu and me, I also did that. As soon as we finish chanting, we put it to our eyes. That means anything that we use in Krishna's service becomes, spiritual. Right? Even your mobile phones. Today, you're all using your mobile phones or laptops to listen to this class. That is also becoming spiritual. And now there is vairagya for you using the laptop and the mobile, because you're not using it for yourself. You're using it for serving the Lord. How are you serving the Lord? By listening to Bhagavatam. Even listening to Bhagavatam or reading Bhagavatam is a service to the Lord. It is one service, one limb of bhakti, it is said. There are 5 important limbs of bhakti. One limb is associating yourself with Bhagavatam. Right? With that, I will conclude today's class, dear devotees. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sindu Mathaji, thank you so much, Mathaji. I think it's a wonderful beginning for all of our new devotees with an introduction to Bhagavatam, right? So none other than Krishna himself. So we'll learn more about Bhagavatam. We'll continue. So tomorrow we'll continue on this, Mathaji.
We will complete this presentation, Prabhu. I think
Sure.
about, I think I have about 15 slides. We may have completed